6 months later, oh, that old, she says. My mother turns and assesses the building, running a finger off the window sill next to her. The picks up a layer of dust and wipes in between her fingers. It need a lot of work, I know. Inter, in, interrupt. I point at the window behind her. But look at the storefront, it was potential. She scrolled over the window, nodding. There's this sound the she makes in the back of her throat sometimes, where she agrees with a little hum, but her lips remain tight, and it means she doesn't actually agree, and she makes re- she agree, but she makes the sound twice. I drop my arm in defeat. You think this was stupid? She was gives her head a slight shake. That all. You think this is stupid? She gives her a slight shake. That it all depend on a turn of out Lily. She says the building use house a restaurant, and it's still full of old table and chair. My mother walked over to a nearby table and pulls out one of the chair, taking a seat. If things were out and your job is successful, then people will say it was a brave, bold, smart business decision. It, but if it fails and you lose your entire inheritance, then people will say it was a stupid business decision. She shrugs. What's That's just how it works. You majored in business, you know that. She glances around the room slowly, as if she's seeing in it that way. It will look a month from now. Just make sure it's brave and bold, Lily. I smile. I can accept that. I can't believe I bought it without asking you first. I say, taking a seat at the table. You are an adult. It's your right? She says, but I can hear to a trace of disappointment. I think she feels even lonelier now that I need her less and less. It has been 6 months since my father died, and even thought he wasn't good company. It has to be weird for her being alone. She got a job at one of the elementary school, so the she died did end up moving here. She chose a small suburb on the outskirts of Boston. She bought a cute two-bedroom house on the cul-de-sac with a huge backyard. I dream of planting a garden there, but that would require daily care. My limit is once a week visit, sometimes twice. What are you going to do with all this junk? She asked. She's right. There's so much junk. I'll take forever to clear this place out. I have no idea. I guess I'll be busting my ass for a while before I can even think about decorating. When your last day at the marketing firm, I smiled yesterday. She releases a sigh and then shakes her head. Oh, Lily, I certainly hope this work out in your favor. I smiled yesterday. She releases a sigh and shake her head. Oh, Lily, certainly hope work out your favor. We both being to stand when front of door open. There are cells in the way of the door, so I carry my hand around them and see a woman walk in her eyes bravely. Can she the room until the see me? Hi, she says with a wave. She's cute, she's dressed well. But she is wearing the white caprice, a disaster waiting to happen in the dust bowl. Can I help you? She tucks her purse beneath her arm and walks toward me, holding out her hand. I'm Alyssa, she says. I shake her hand. Lily. She tosses a thumb over her shoulder. There is a help wanted sign out front. I look over the shoulder and raise an eyebrow. There is. I didn't put up a help wanted sign. She nods and then shrugs. It looked old, thought. She says it's probably been there a while. I was just out for a walk and so the psych was curious. It all I like her almost immediately. Her voice is pleasant and her smile seems genuine. My mother's hand falls down on my shoulder and she leans in and kisses me on the cheek. I have to go, and she says, open house tonight. I tell her goodbye and watch her walk outside, then turn my attention back to Alyssa. I'm not really hiring yet, I say. I wave my hand around the room. I'm opening up a floral so would it be a cover of 6 months at least. I should know better than to hold pre-convinced judgment, but she doesn't look like she would be satisfied with the minimum wage job. Her say probably cost more than this building. Her eyes light up. Really, I love flowers. She spins around in the circle and says, this place has a ton of a potential. What color are you painting it? I cross my arm over my chest and grab my elbow, rocking. Back on my heels, I say, I am not sure. I just got the keys to building an hour ago, so I haven't really come up with a decision plan yet. Lily, right? I nod. I'm not going to pretend I have degree in decision, but I'm absolutely favorite thing. If you need any help, I'll do it for free. I I tilt my head. You're working for free. She nods. I do not really need a job. I just saw the sick and thought that the heck. But I do get bored sometimes. I'll be happy to help you with whatever you need. Cleaning, decorating, pick up out paint color. I'm not interested. War sometime something behind me catches her eye and she points. I could take that broken door and make it magnificent. All this stuff really there's a use of almost everything, you know. I look around at the room knowing full well I am not going to be able to tackle this by myself. I probably cannot even lift half this stuff alone. I'll eventually have to hire someone anyway. I'm not going let you work for free. But I could do what $10 an hour if you are really serious. She started clapping and if she wasn't in heel, and she might have jumped up and down. When can I when can I start? I glance door down at her white caprice. Will tomorrow work? You'll probably want to show up a disposable clothes. She waves me off and drop her husband's bag on the dusty table next to her. Nonsense, she says. My husband is watching the Bruin plays at a bar down the street. If it's okay, I'll just hang with you. Get started right now. 2 hours later, I'm convinced I have met my new best friend. She really is a Pinterest whore. We write, keep and toss on the sticky notes and slap them on everything in the room. She is a fellow believer in upcycling, so we come up with ideas for at least 75% of the stuff left in the building. The rest, she says, her husband can throw out when he was free. Times once we know that we are going to do with all the stuff. I grab notebook and a pen, and we sit at one of the table to write down decision ideas. Okay, she says, leaning back in her chair. I want to log because her white capris are covered in dirt now, but she doesn't seem to care. Do you have a goal for this place? She asks, glancing around. I have one. I say, succeed. She laughs. I have no doubt you'll succeed, but you do need a vision. I think about that. My mother said, just make sure it is brave and hold a lily. I smile and sit up straighter in the chair. Brave and hold. I say, I want this place to be different. I want to take a risk. She narrows her eye as she chews on the tip of the pen. But you are just selling flower. She says, how can you be brave and hold with flower? I look around the room and try to envision what I am thinking. I am not even sure what I am thinking. I am just getting itchy and restless, like I am on the verge of the brilliant idea. What are some words that come to mind when you think of flower? I ask her. She shrugs. I do not know. They're sweet, I guess. They are alive, so they make me think of life. And maybe the color pink and spring. Sweet life, pink spring. I repeat, and then Alessa, you are brilliant. I stand up, the being pacing the floor. Will be take everything everyone loves about flower, and will do the complete opposite. She makes a face to let me know she isn't following. Okay, I say, what if instead is showcasing the sweet side of flower, we showcased the villainous side? Instead of pink accent, we use darker color like a deep purple, or even black, and instead of just spring and life, we also celebrate winter and death. Alice's eyes are wide, but what if someone want pink flower thought? Well, we all still give them what they want, of course, but we will also give them what they do not know they want. The scratches on his cheek. You are thinking black flower. She looked concerned, and I do not blame her. She is only seeing the darkest side of my vision. I take a seat at the table again and try to get her on board. Someone once told me that there is no such thing as bad people. We are all just people who sometimes do bad things that stuck with me because it's so true. Well, we all got a little bit of a good and evil in us. I want to make that our theme instead of painting the walls a portrait sweet color. We paint them dark purple with a black accent, and instead of one only putting out the usual pastel display of flower in boring crystal vases, the make people think to life. We go edgy, brave and bold. We put out display of darker flower wrapped in things like leather or silver chain, and rather than put them in crystal vessel, we'll stick them in black onyx or I don't know purple velvet vessel lined with silver studs. The ideas are endless. I stand up again. There are floral shop on every corner for people who love flower, but what floral shop caters to all the people who hate flower. Valesa shakes her head. None of them, and whisper exactly none of them. We stare at each other for a moment, and then I cannot take it. And another second, I am bursting with the excitement, and I just start logging like a giddy child. Alyssa starts logging too, and other jumps up and hugs me. Lily, it's so twisted, it's brilliant. I know I am full of renewed energy. I need a desk so I can sit down and make a business plan. But my future office is full of old vegetable crates. She walks toward the back of the store. Well, let's get them out of there and go buy you a desk. We squeeze into our office and being moving creates crates out one by one and into a back room. I stand for a chair to make a pile taller so we will have more room to move around. These are perfect for the window displays I have in mind. She hands me two more crates and walk away, and I am reaching on my tiptoes to stack them at the every top. The pile being to be tumble, I try to find something to grab hold of for balance, but the crates knock me off the chair. When I land on the floor, I can feel my foot bend in the wrong direction. It's followed by a rush of pain straight up my leg and down to my toes. Alyasa comes rushing back into the room and has to move two of the crates from on the top of me. Lily, she says, "Oh my god, are you okay?" I pull myself up to a sitting position but not even try to put weight on my ankle. I shake my head. My ankle. She immediately removes my shoe and then pulls her phone out of her pocket. She begins dialing a number and then looks up at me. I know this is a stupid question, but do you happen to have a refrigerator here with eyes in it? I shake my head. I figured, she says. She puts the phone on speaker and sets it on the floor as she began to roll up my pants leg. I wince, but not much from the pain. I just cannot believe I did something so stupid. If I broke it, I'm screwed. I just spent my entire inheritance on a building that won't even to be able to renovate for a month. Hey, Lisa, a voice groans through her phone. Where you at? The game over. Alyssa picks up her phone and brings it closer to her mouth. At work, listen, I need this guy. Q cuts her off and say, "At work, babe, you do not even have a job." Alicia shakes her head and says, "Marshall, listen, is an emergency. I think my boss broke her ankle. I need you to bring some ice too." He cut her off with a log. "Your boss, babe, you do not even have a job," he repeats. Alyssa rolls her eyes. "Marshall, are you drunk? It's on essay day." He slurred into the phone. "Yet you knew that, but you drop us a pizza, free beer until." She groans. "Put my brother on the phone." "Fine, fine," Marshall mumbles. There's a rustling sound that comes from the phone, and then yeah, Alyssa splits out of our location into phone. "Gets here right now, please, and bring a bag of ice." "Yes, ma'am." Here say the brother sound like me, maybe a little drunk too. There's a laughter, and then one of the guy says she's in a bad mood, and then the line and then one of the guy she says the bad mood, and then lines goes dead. Alyssa puts her phone back in her pocket. i'll be I'll go wait outside them. They are just down the street. "Will you be okay here?" I nod and reach for a chair. "Maybe I should just try to walk on it." Alyssa pushes shoulder back until I'm leaning against the wall again. Do not move. Wait until they get here, okay?" I have no idea what two drunken guys are going to be able to do for me, but I know my new employee feels more like my boss right now, and I am kind of scared of her at the moment. I wait in a back for about 10 minutes when I finally hear a front door in a building open. "What is the world?" A man's voice. "Why are you all alone in this creepy building?" I hear Alyssa say she's back here. She walks in followed by a guy wearing an SI. He's tall, a little bit on the thin side, but boyishly handsome, with big honest eyes and a head full of dark, messy way past due for a haircut. Here he is holding a bag of ice. Did I mention he was wearing on a C? I'm talking a legit full grown man in a SpongeBob on a sign. "This is your husband?" I ask her, cocking an eyebrow. Alyssa rolled her eyes. "Unfortunately," the says, glancing back at him. Another guy also is on a side, walks in behind them. But my attention is on Alyssa as they explain why. There's a wearing pajamas. There is wearing pajamas on a random Wednesday afternoon. There is a bar down in the street that gives up free beer to anyone who shows up in a unsay during a Bruins game. She makes her way over me and motion for the guy to follow her. She fell off the chair and hurt her ankle. She says to the other guy. He steps around the Marshall, and the first thing I notice are this arm. Holy shit, I know those arms. Those are the arm of a neurosurgeon. Alyssa, it is the sister that owned the entire top floor, the husband who work in pajamas and bring in seven figure a year. As soon as my eyes lock with Riley, his whole face morphed into a smile. I haven't seen him a god. How long ago was that? 6 months. I can say I haven't thought about him during the past 6 months because I've thought about him quite a few times, but I never actually thought I'd see him again. Riley, this is Lily, my brother Riley, she says, motioning toward him, and that's my husband Marshall. Riley walks over to me and knees down. Lily, he says, regarding me with a smile. Nice to meet you. I'm obviously he remember me. I can see it in a knowing smile, but like me, he's pretending this is the first time we are meet. I'm not sure. I'm more explain how we already know each other. Riley touches my ankle and inspects it. Can you move it? I try to move it, but a sharp pain shoots all the way up my leg. I suck in air, throat my teeth, and shake my head. Not yet, it hurts. Riley motions to Marshall, find something to put the eyes in. Alyssa follow Marshall out of the room. When there is both gone, Riley looks at me and his mouth turns up into a grin. I wanna charge you for this, but only because I'm slightly inebriated, he says with a wink. I tilt my head. This is the first time I meet you where you are drunk when being a gory you aren't going to make a very qualified neurosurgeon. He looks at would appear that way, he say, but I promise you I rarely ever get high and this is my first day off in over a month, so I really needed a beer or five. Marshall comes back with an old rag wrapped around some eyes. He hand it's in a Riley pressed it against my ankle. I'll need that first aid kit out of your trunk. Riley says the Alyssa. She nods and grabs Marshall's hand, pulling him out of the room again. Riley presses his palm against the bottom of the foot, push against my hand. He says, I push down with an ankle. It hurts, but I am able to move his hand. It's broken. He moves my front from side to side and then say, I do not think so. Let's give us a couple of minutes and I'll see if you can put any weight on it. I nod and watch. He asks. He adjusts himself across from me. He sits across legged and pull up my foot onto his lap. He looks around the room and then direct the attention back at me. So what is this place? I smile a little too big. Lily Bloom. I'll be a floral shop at about 2 months time. I swear his whole face lights up with pride. No way. He say you did it. Where is actually opening of up your own business? I nod yep. I figured the might as well. I try while I am still young enough to bounce back from failure. One of his hand is holding the eyes against my ankle, but the other one is wrapped around my bare foot. He is brushing his thumb back and forth like it is no big deal that he is touching me, but his hand on my foot is way more noticeable than the pain in my ankle. I look ridiculous, huh? He asks, staring down at his solid red one side. I shrug. At least you went with a known character choice. It gives it a little bit more maturity than the SpongeBob option. He looks and then smile disappears and he leans his head into the door beside him. He stares at me appreciatively. You are even a prettier in the daytime moment like these are why I absolutely having red hair and fair skin. Absolute uh, embarrassment doesn't only show up the checks. My whole face, arms and neck grow flushed. I rest my head against wall behind me and stare at him just like he is staring at me. You want to hear a naked truth? He notes I wanted to go back on your roof on more than one occasion since the night, but I was too scared to be there. You make me kind of nervous. His finger paws their strokes against my foot. My turn. I nod, his eyes narrow at his hand moves in underneath and my foot. He slowly traces his finger from the tops of my toes down to my heels. I still very much want of want to fuck you. Someone gasps and isn't me. Riley and I both look at the doorway and Alyssa is standing there is wide-eyed. Her mouth is open as point down at Riley. Did you just? She look at me and says I mean so sorry about him. Lily and then look back at Riley with venom in her eyes. Did you just tell my boss you want to fuck her? Oh dear, Riley puts the bottom lip and chew on it for a second. Marshall walks in behind Alyssa and says what's going on. Alyssa looks in Marshall and points Riley again. He just told Lily we want to fuck her. Marshall look from Riley and me. I don't know whether to log or crawl under the table and hide. You did, he says, looking back at Riley. Riley shrugs. It appears that way. He say Alyssa put her hand in her hand. Jesus Christ, she says looking at me. Is drunk? He is both drunk. Please don't judge me because my brother isn't a soul. I smile at her and wave it off. It's fine, Alyssa. A lot of people want to fuck me. I glance back at Riley and he still casually strokes my foot. At least your brother speaks his mind. Not a lot of people have a courage to say there isn't actually thinking. Riley winks at me and carefully moves an ankle of his lap. Let's see if you can put any weight on it, he says. He and Marshall help me to my feet. Riley points to a table on few feet away that's pushed up against a wall. Let's try to make it on a table so I can grab it. His arm is secured around my waist and he is gripping my arm tightly to make sure I do not fall. Marshall is more or less just standing next to support. I put a little weight on my ankle and it hurts but is excruciating. I am able to hop and way to table with a lot of assistance from Riley. He helps me pull myself until I seated on top of leaning against the wall with my legs stretched out in front of me. Well, she good news in hasn't broken. What's the bad news? I ask him. He opens the first aid kit and says you'll need to stay off of it in a few days, maybe even a week more, depending on how it's healed. I close my eyes, lean head against the wall behind me, but I have so much to do. I whine. He carefully begins to grab my ankle. Alyssa is standing behind him. watching him wrap it, and thirsty Marshall says, "Anybody want something to drink? There is a CVS across the street." "I'm good," Riley says, "and take a water." I say Sprite. Alyssa says. Marshall grabs her hand. "You're coming with." Alyssa pulls her hand over, crosses her arm over the chest, and is not going anywhere. To say my mother I cannot trust it. Alyssa, it is fine. I tell her he was making a joke. She stares at me silently for a moment and then says, "Okay, but you cannot fire me if pulls more stupid shit. I promise I won't fire you." With that, the grab Marshall hand again and leaves the room. Riley is still wrapping in her foot when he says, "My sister worked for you." Yep, hired her a couple of hours. He reaches into a first aid kit and pull out tape. You don't realize that she's never had a job in her entire life. She already warned me. I say this Joe is tight and he doesn't look as relaxed as did earlier. Then it hit me that I might think I hired her as a way to get close to him. I had no idea she was your sister until you walked in. I swear. He glances at me then back down at my foot. I wasn't suggesting you knew. He begins to tape over the ace bandage. I don't want you just did not want to. This is a ghost trying to trap you somehow. We want to different thing from life. Remember, we nods and carefully sets my foot back into a table. This is correct, he says. Specialize in a nightstand. Are you one in a quest your holy grail? I love you have a good memory. I do, she says. A languid smile stretches across his mouth. But you are also hard to get. Jesus, he has to stop saying thing like that. I press my palms into the table and pull my leg down. Naked truth coming. He leans against the table next to me and says, "All year I hold nothing back. I am very attracted to you." I say there's not much about you I don't like, and being as through you and I both different thing and be ever around each other appreciate if if you could stop saying things that make me dizzy. I'm not really fair to me. He notes saying thing he this fair to me. He nods once and then say my turn. His face places his hand on the table next to me and leans in a little. I'm very attracted to you too. There's not much about you I do not like, but I kind of hope we're never around each other again because I don't like how much I think about you, which isn't all that much, but it's more than I don't like. So if you still aren't going to agree to a one night stand, then I think it's best if we do what we can avoid each other because I will not do either of us any favor. I don't know how he ended up. He is close to me, but he is only about away. He is approximately. He is it hard to pay it attention to word that come out his mouth. His grey gaze drop. I fly to my mouth, but as soon we hear front door open halfway across the room. By the time Alyssa and Marshall make it to us, Riley is rest taking all the crates that well. Alyssa looks down at my ankle. What is the verdict? She asked. I pushed a bottom lip out. Your doctor brother say I have to stay off it for a few days. She heads hands with my water goods thing you have me. I can work and do what I can. You clean up while you rest. I'll take a drink and water and then wipe my mouth. Alyssa, I'm declaring you employing 2 months. She grins and then turn Marshall. Did you hear that I am best employee she has? He puts his arm around her and kisses the top of her head. I am proud of you, I Isa. Isa like that he called her Isa. I'm watching assuming in short for Alyssa. I think about you, my over name, and if you ever find a guy who could shorten into a sickening a cute nickname, Eileen, no, not the same. Do you need help getting home? She asked. I hope now and test my foot, maybe just to my car. It's my left foot, so I can probably drive just fine. She walked over and put her arm around me. If you want to leave the key with me, I'm lock up and come back tomorrow and start cleaning. The three of them walk me to my car, but Riley allows Alyssa to do most of the work. He seems almost scared to touch me now for some reason. When I'm driving seat, Alyssa puts my purse and other thing in the floorboard and sits in the passenger seat. She takes my phone out the being programming her number into it. Riley leans into the window. Make sure to keep eyes on it as much as you can for the next few days. Boss help too. Then I nod. Thanks for your help. Alyssa leans over the and says, Riley, maybe you should drive her home. Take cab the back apartment just to be safe. Riley looks down at me and shakes his head. I do not think that's a good idea. He says she's be fine. I've had a few beers, probably shouldn't be driving. You could have at least help of her home. Alyssa suggests. Riley shakes his head and then parts of the car as a turn and walks away. I'm still watching him when Alyssa hands me back my phone and says, seriously, I'm really sorry about him. First, he hits on you, then he is a selfish asshole. He climbs out of the car and closes the door and leans through the window. That he has been single for the rest of his life. She points to my phone. Text me when you get home and call me if you need anything. I want cold favor as work time. Thank you, Alyssa. She smiles. No, thank you. I haven't been excited about my life since the Paolo Nutini concert I went to last year. She waves goodbye and walks toward where Marshall and Riley are standing. They are being walking down the street and I watch them in the rear view mirror as they turn the corner. I see Riley glance over his shoulder and look back in my direction. I close my eyes, exhale the two times and we spend with Riley where on day I'd probably rather forget my father's funeral and spraining my ankle, but somehow him being present made them feel like less of the disaster they were. I hear that is Alia's brother. I have feeling this is the last time I'll be seeing him.